you think you know Madagascar. Maybe you picture lemurs, baobab trees, an island floating off the coast of Africa like a world apart. But Madagascar is not a postcard. It is not a cliche. It is not one single landscape, one single mood, one single story. It is red earth under your shoes, salt in the air, heat on your skin, market noise in your ears, wind moving through giant trees at sunset. And the deeper you go, the less this island feels familiar. What starts as a dream turns into something wilder, more intense, more human, more unforgettable. Because the beauty here isn't calm, it's wild, fragile, and constantly changing. And that's where it gets interesting. Because most people think Madagascar is just about nature. They're wrong. This island can be silent 1 second and full of noise the next. It can slow you down, then throw you straight back into movement. It can give you a perfect view, then force you to look beyond it. So stay with this until the end, because what happens next is not just a tour of Madagascar. It's the feeling of stepping into a place that still knows how to surprise you. You start with the island at its most iconic, the Avenue of the Baobabs. There are places so famous you expect them to disappoint. This is not one of them. You walk forward, the ground is dry, the light is low, and suddenly those trees are no longer just something you've seen online. They're huge, still, almost unreal. You stand in front of them, and the first thing that hits you is the scale. These trees do not decorate the landscape. They dominate it. Their trunks rise like towers. Their branches spread like roots reaching into the sky. Nothing around them competes for attention. Then the light changes. Gold becomes amber. Amber becomes orange. Orange becomes fire. And for a few seconds, nobody needs to say anything. You just stand there. You watch. You let it happen. That's the power of Madagascar. It doesn't always impress you by adding more. Sometimes it impresses you by taking everything else away. No noise. No crowd. No distraction. Just sky, dust, trees, light. But then everything changes. Because Madagascar is not only softness and silence. A few days later, you are crossing one of the strangest landscapes on Earth. Tsingy de Bemaraha. And this place does not welcome you gently. Here, the ground becomes sharp. The stone rises in blades. The path narrows. The drop gets closer. You don't just look at Tsingy. You climb it. You grip metal rails. You test your footing. You cross hanging bridges above jagged limestone. And that's what makes it unforgettable. This is not passive beauty. This is beauty that makes your body react. Your legs tense. Your hands tighten. Your eyes keep moving. Below you, the stone splits into deep cracks and hidden pockets of forest. Above you, the sky cuts through in clean blue fragments. It feels ancient, harsh, almost impossible. And this is where most people are wrong. Madagascar is not just lush. It is not just tropical. It can be dry, brutal, sharp, and visually insane. That contrast is one of the best things about this country. Just when you think you understand it, the whole landscape changes. Then it changes again. Now the air gets heavier, warmer, softer. You arrive in the north, Nosy Be. And suddenly, everything slows down. Boats drift on clear water. Palm trees lean over bright sand. The sea moves in long, calm breaths. You hear waves folding onto the shore. You hear wood creak in the harbor. You hear distant voices at the end of the day. This is the Madagascar people dream about. And yes, it is that beautiful. But here too, the real magic is in the details. A fisherman pulling in his line. A boat rocking in the late light. Seafood hitting a hot grill. Feet in the sand. Salt drying on your skin. You are not just looking at paradise. You are moving through it. You swim. You walk. You sit down for lunch, facing the water. You watch the color of the sea change as the sun drops lower. And then, just when it starts to feel too perfect, reality steps back into frame. Children run past. Boats need fixing. People work the shoreline. Life keeps going, because paradise, in real life, is never empty. And that is exactly why it feels real. Then everything changes again. Now you leave the coast. You go inland, and the island becomes stranger. In Nosy Be, the forest doesn't reveal itself all at once. First, you hear it. Water falling from leaves. Insects vibrating under the canopy. Branches moving high above your head. Then comes a sound you don't forget, the call of the Indri. Long, deep, almost unreal. It echoes through the trees and stops you cold. You don't need anyone to explain it. You hear it, and you feel immediately that you are somewhere else. Then you start walking. Slowly, you look up. You scan the branches. You wait. And suddenly, there they are. Lemurs jumping through the trees. Not behind glass. Not in a park built for tourists. Here, they move through mist and leaves like they belong to another age. One jump, then another, then a pause. And when one stops and looks in your direction, the whole moment becomes personal. That's the difference. Madagascar doesn't just show you wildlife. It puts you inside the encounter. And it's not just lemurs. It's tiny chameleons gripping leaves with impossible precision. Geckos that look hand-painted. Frogs so bright they seem artificial. Creatures that make you stop mid-step and say, wait, what is that? And that's where it gets even more interesting, because the wonder here comes with tension. So much of this wildlife exists nowhere else. Only here. Only on this island. Only in habitats that are under pressure. So yes, the amazement is real, but so is the fragility. And somehow, that makes the experience hit even harder. You're not just seeing something beautiful, you're seeing something rare, something that matters. Then the rhythm changes again. Now the island opens up. Wide land, red dust, long roads. This is the Madagascar many travelers don't expect. The Great Red Island. You feel it when a car passes and throws dust into the air. You see it in the hills, in the roadsides, in the color of the earth itself. This is not one fixed version of beauty. Madagascar keeps switching the scenery. Rainforest, dry forest, canyon, rice terraces, coastline, stone, sand, red earth. That constant shift keeps you alert. You never settle. One day you are sweating under dense green canopy. The next, you are driving through open land with nothing but sky, dust, and heat around you. And then, almost without warning, the mood changes again. You reach the highlands. The pace slows. The land softens into terraces, villages, layered hills, and smoke rising in the distance. You don't rush through a place like this. You look longer. You watch people working the fields. You follow narrow paths with your eyes. You see homes built into the shape of the land. Nothing here screams for attention, and that is exactly why it works. This is not the wow that explodes. This is the wow that settles. The kind that builds quietly. The kind you feel a few minutes later when you realize you've stopped talking and you're just looking. And this is where the story shifts. Because Madagascar is not only nature, it is also culture. It is memory, music, food, belief, custom, presence. You notice it in the villages, in the way people gather, in the way space is shared, in the rhythm of meals and markets and ceremonies. Religion here matters. In many places, Christianity is visible in everyday life. You see churches. You hear singing. You notice people dressed with purpose on Sundays. You feel how faith shapes both public and private life. But Madagascar is more layered than that, because alongside Christian belief, ancestral traditions still carry real weight. Memory is not treated lightly here. Ancestors are not always seen as distant. In many communities, they remain part of the moral and emotional world of the living. And you feel that not always through big speeches, not always through dramatic rituals, sometimes just in the seriousness around family, tombs, ceremonies, and lineage. It gives the country a different kind of presence, a spiritual depth that doesn't need to shout. And then there is the food. Simple, grounded, direct. Malagasy cuisine is not about show. It is about rhythm. Rice is at the center of daily life. Around it come meats, greens, broths, beans, seafood near the coast, fruit from roadside stands, grilled food in busy streets. You taste Madagascar in small, concrete moments. Sitting down hungry after a long drive, eating grilled fish near the ocean, buying fresh fruit in the heat, smelling charcoal smoke before you even see the food. And then there's vanilla. Madagascar vanilla is famous around the world, but here it stops being a label. It becomes an atmosphere. Warm, rich, almost floral. You smell it, and instantly understand why it became one of the island's signatures. This is the kind of detail that stays with you. Not just what you ate, but where you ate it, what the air smelled like, what the table looked like, what you heard around you. And that's the point. Madagascar is not built from one giant moment. It gets under your skin through accumulation. A sound, a road, a face, a smell, a silence. Then the story shifts again. Now comes the city, Antananarivo, Tana. After the silence of forests and the openness of the coast, the capital hits differently. This is movement. Traffic pushing through steep streets, people climbing stairways, vendors setting up, motorbikes passing close, music leaking out into the road, conversations layered on top of each other. You don't float through this city. You move with it. You cross the street carefully. You walk through markets. You stop at stalls. You look up at houses stacked over the hills. You catch details in flashes. A painted sign, a food cart, a pile of clothes for sale, a church above the rooftops, a face at a window, rain beginning on warm stone. Tana matters because it breaks the fantasy in the best possible way. It reminds you that Madagascar is not an empty landscape made for admiration. It is a country in motion, a country where people work, sell, commute, cook, build, wait, laugh, argue, improvise, and carry the day forward. And that makes everything else feel more real. Because now the island is no longer just scenic. It has pulse, and pulse changes everything. This is where most people start to understand Madagascar differently, not as a collection of famous places, but as a place with texture, a place where silence and noise keep answering each other, a place where the spectacular and the ordinary live side by side, a place where 1 hour you are standing in front of baobabs at sunset, and the next you are buying fruit by the road, stuck in traffic, hearing music from a passing car. That contrast is not a flaw. It is the experience. And then comes the most important shift of all, the human one. Because to speak honestly about Madagascar, you cannot stay only with beauty. Yes, this country is visually extraordinary, but many people here live with real economic difficulty. You see it in the roads, in the infrastructure, in the effort it takes to move, to trade, to build, to maintain daily life. That reality should be part of the story, not as pity, not as spectacle, as truth. And what stands out again and again is not just hardship. It is resilience. You see it in the markets, in transport, in small businesses, in homes, in conversations, in the way people keep going with dignity, humor, and creativity. You feel it when you stop and talk to people, when you ask a question, when someone explains something with patience, when a smile cuts through the exhaustion of the day. This is the part no postcard can show you, and it matters, because this is where travel stops being consumption and starts becoming understanding. Madagascar is beautiful, but beauty alone is not the story. The story is what people build inside that beauty, what they protect, what they endure, what they pass on, what they create in the middle of challenge. That is what gives the island its emotional force, not perfection, depth. And there are moments here that prove it in an instant. A football game on red dirt at golden hour. A woman carrying goods along the roadside. A crowded taxi brew somehow still taking on one more passenger. A fisherman walking into shallow water at sunrise. A market vendor laughing in the middle of the rush. These moments are not designed to impress you, and yet they often stay longer than the famous views, because they feel encountered, not staged, not polished, real. Then, just when you think the island has shown you enough, it opens one more scene. Isalo. And if Madagascar has a cinematic heartbeat, it might be here. Sandstone formations rise in long, sculpted lines. Canyons split the land. Heat presses down from above. Silence settles between the rocks. You walk through it. You sweat. You climb. You keep moving through dry terrain that feels almost lunar in places. And then the reward appears. A natural pool hidden in the stone. Green against gold. Water against heat. Shade after exposure. That contrast lands hard. Because Madagascar understands timing, it doesn't just give you beauty, it builds toward it. At Isalo, that becomes physical. You cross difficult ground. Then you arrive. And when you do, the stillness feels earned. That's why it stays with you. Not just because it looked good, because you felt the shift in your body, heat, effort, relief. Then one more turn. Île Sainte-Marie. Off the east coast, the mood softens again. Here, the island breathes differently. Beaches stretch out in calm light. Palm trees lean over the water. The noise falls away. You walk slower here. You sit longer. You watch the horizon instead of checking the time. But even this quiet place carries depth. Old pirate stories. Old sea routes. A sense that history once moved through these waters in dangerous ways. And then, in the right season, the ocean adds one more shock. Whales. A breath in the distance. A sudden breach. A tail lifting above the water. And for one clean moment, everyone goes silent. Because some things are still big enough to stop the mind. That is one of Madagascar's greatest strengths. It keeps creating moments that pull you completely into the present. Not because they are flashy, because they are undeniable. And by now, the truth is clear. Madagascar is not one masterpiece. It is many worlds in one. The sea gives you stillness. The forest gives you wonder. The stone gives you tension. The culture gives you depth. The city gives you rhythm. The people give the country its heart. Take away any one of those, and the experience becomes smaller. Together, they create something rare. This is why Madagascar speaks to so many different travelers. The dreamers, the photographers, the hikers, the wildlife lovers, the people chasing beauty, and the people chasing something deeper than beauty, because this island gives you both. It can give you a perfect sunset and a hard road on the same day, a moment of silence and a street full of noise, a breathtaking view and a conversation you remember longer than the view itself. And that is why Madagascar stays. Not because it is polished, because it is alive. So what does the country leave you with in the end? Not just images, sensations, dust on your legs, heat on your neck, the call of the Indri in the morning, the smell of food in a market street, the sight of baobabs at sunset, the pressure of a city hill under your steps, the calm of the sea at the end of the day. You arrive expecting to see something beautiful. You leave having felt something much larger. A photo can show you the trees. A video can show you the beaches. A documentary can show you the lemurs. But none of them can fully give you the heat, the movement, the silence, the red earth, the smell of the air after rain, the sound of life around you when the island stops being an image and starts becoming an experience. That only happens when you are there. And maybe that is what makes Madagascar so unforgettable. It reminds you that the world is still bigger, stranger, and more alive than the version we see on our screens. Some destinations entertain you, some amaze you. Madagascar changes the way you look at distance, beauty, and reality. So now tell me this. Do you still see Madagascar as a simple postcard? Or do you see a living island of red earth, ancient trees, rare wildlife, deep memory, and moments you can only understand by standing there yourself? If this journey transported you, subscribe for more extraordinary places around the world. Like this video and leave a comment telling me which place in Madagascar you would want to experience first. Because sometimes the most unforgettable places are not the ones that look the most unreal. They are the ones that make you feel the most awake.